Okay, so just a little bit more work on this UV layout and then we'll be done. So I want to be able to add a little bit of extra detail to the shell because I know that the shell is a big selling point for this model. Also the face, but what I'm found is earlier is that the face, you're mainly worried about the detail in the eye, so you are going to want a little bit more pixels for the face. So face and shell really is our biggest concern here. This right here, this section, I'm not exactly sure where it comes in, but I think that might be the tail end. You know, it probably is the tail. So I don't think I'm done with the tail yet because, yeah, that could be better. So let's work on the tail. I need to split it down the middle. So I'm going to, because you think like the tail is kind of a defining thing for Squirtle. So let's split the tail down the middle. And this is a whoopsies because I would want to do that before I applied the mirror modifier, but I didn't. And then I got that all split down the middle and down there, but I'm going to leave it connected this way. So that way when it unfolds, it's connected still. And I'm thinking actually, let's disconnect it on the, let's stop the seam there and let's hide the seam there. Where do I want this to split open? I want to split on the bottom, not the top. There we go. And maybe I'll need to split here, but not there. So you're just trying to hide that the best you can. And then shading, mark seam. Okay, select all, unwrap. So now I can see my tail. There's my tail. Okay, so now let's actually rearrange this now that this is more laid out. So I'm going to go UVs, average island scale, and then UVs, pack islands. And then I got my arms, my legs, this, not exactly sure. Oh, that's the mouth. Okay, the feet, and the face. Is that the face? That's, I think, it's got this huge N-gon down there. What is that? It's got to be the face though, because the N-gon there. Okay, so that's not really a problem. That should be good geometry. It's just because of it's hidden, you know. Okay, so let's rearrange. So I got, I'm thinking all blue stuff is going to be basically static. I'm not really going to do much with it. The stuff that's just blue. So I'm going to let the hands and arms just kind of be small. So and the tail is another important thing. So here we go. Select a point and then press L, and it allows you to move it. So I'm just going to grab them and just kind of place them over there. And this is my mouth. I'm just going to drag that off to the side and grab this leg. Or this is like a squirrel tail thing. Just like that. And then here, this is more blue, right? Because I think the arm. Well, there's one arm. I'm going to move this again. Let's press select and hit L, which is like linked, and then G to move it. I'm just going to need to space these things out a little bit. And then this, I'm not 100% sure what this is, but I am concerned right here, okay? Because I think this looks like my shell actually. So there's like my shell is being broken into the back and the front portion, okay? And this is my back portion, and then this is my, or maybe, I don't know, I think maybe this is the belly portion, and then this is the back portion. So those both need to get kind of larger. So I'm going to select both of these, and then with the shift select, so I'm holding shift, right click, hold shift, then right click again, and then I'm going to do control L. And then I'm going to do another shift right click there and Control L again. And so now I got all my shell, and what I'm going to do is scale it up by 20%. So I'm going to go S 1.2, and now I got a bigger version of it, and I just want to Shift click and then Control L. I want to try to fit this in if I can. And I don't know why I picked 20%. It was just an idea. It looks like I need to make this a little smaller, so I'm going to go S 0.95. It looks like I can barely fit it. Just bring it in. And you will, let's just make it a little smaller. I will probably be posting this if you want to use my UV layout if it ends up better than yours, but really you just do your best with this kind of thing. And since the face isn't that important, I'm just going to scale down the face. I'm just going to press S and scale it up as large as I can. Okay, now just to get even more detail around here, I'm going to do another little fancy thing. I'm going to select just this tail portion. Well, actually, no, that's around the butt, so we'll probably not even need to see that very much, so I'm good with that. Okay, so I'm going to Control L that, and then G to bring it in. Obviously, we got some work before we can fit this, so I'm just going to drag my tongue in here, and then Control L, Shift click, Control L, right click, and let's just try to drop it right there. Okay, getting closer. Okay, so that is pretty darn close. Now, looking at my UVs, these are really close, but then they're not. So what I'm going to do is just back up these a little bit so that there's a margin between them. That way, when I go to do my texture painting, I can actually paint between those if I have to. And then looking for other situations where I might want to add a margin, a little bit of space, you know, but this looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and call this UV mapping done and move on to the next thing. So now that this is arranged, you actually don't have to do anything. You just leave it alone and you go back into object mode, and then you are ready to start the next thing. So that ends UV mapping. So if you got that done, congratulations. Go ahead and make sure you save your file. So I'm going to call this one Squirtle UV mapping done. Hit save as. Okay, so hopefully this will be uploaded and you can follow along and try to create a UV map. Now if you did this correctly, then when you select the object and you press tab to go into edit mode, you should have your UV layout show up when you're in the UV editing window. If that's all good, you're good to move on. So thank you very much for participating in that, and catch you in the next one.